Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Harakakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders, great most time, overall, and shalom to the brothers doing the work, sincerity and truth. Start with this, Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. Gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Most High. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And yeah, that is that final world conflict, that World War III, which we can see is being developed in the midst of. And then this just shows, you got on the news, like 97.9% of what you're going to be seeing is going to be, Russia, Ukraine, that circumstance. But that's the main tinderbox. But all around the world, this is something that's being worked towards. Some AP News says China makes semi-secret delivery of missiles to Serbia. Russian ally Serbia took the delivery of sophisticated Chinese anti-aircraft system in a veiled operation this weekend, amid Western concerns that an arms build-up in the Balkans at a time of war in Ukraine could threaten the fragile peace in the region. And yeah, it's that peace is essentially done, because more or less it's the the Cold War, I think Cold War was the actual term, but there's something else I was not cold, proxy war. The proxy war, essentially, Ukraine is being used as like a buffer, as a proxy, as a wall between the West, away for the West, mainly the US and NATO, to kind of try and smother Russia, pour water on it, put the fire out before it gets too hot. But hey, as it's evidently, it's not going to be as smooth and as easy as it appears. So it says media and military experts said Sunday that 6 Chinese Air Force Y-20 transport planes landed at Belgrade civilian airport early Saturday, reportedly carrying HQ-22 surface-to-air missile systems for the Serbian military. The Chinese cargo planes with military markings were pictured at Belgrade's Nikola Tesla Airport. Serbia's defense ministry did not immediately respond to AP's request for comment. The arms delivery over the territory of at least 2 NATO member states, Turkey and Bulgaria, was seen by experts as a demonstration of China's growing global reach. Yeah, because, in the news, because we've been doing this pumping propaganda, saying, oh, we don't really know if China's down, China's not, 100% backing it. But that's the thing, is even if China's, dealing with, they're completely airing the sanctions on Russia, the West still has to fuck with them, because there's too much there. The relationships, essentially, there's too much, they're too interaligned. So they ain't really just gonna be able to what's it called, to be like, oh, okay, yeah, we're just gonna completely fuck off Russia and not deal with them. But then that means what? It's not gonna be as easy, as straightforward as it appears. And that's the thing, is that's all really propaganda. If you listen to the mainstream media, all that's been reported, you would think Putin, the second he what do you call that? Second he launched his invasion, like all these soldiers are ready to quit, all these generals are committing suicide. There's someone just like behind him with like a little cloth ready to choke him out and take him out like the first opportunity. Um, but in reality, this is down to what? Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Basically, the Heavenly Father's having this happen, having this build up, having this grow and build up steam to where it's going to be that huge scale global conflict. And that's what it's going to go down to. So that's why, you have multiple countries getting involved. That's why you have alliances like NATO, where one gets invaded, everyone else has to jump in. The Y-20's appearance raised eyebrows because they flew en masse as opposed to a series of single aircraft flights, wrote the Warzone Online magazine. The Y-20's presence in Europe in any numbers is also a fairly new development. Serbian military analyst Alexander Radic said that the Chinese carried out their demonstration of force, and yeah, they've been doing that around Taiwan as well. Force. Serbian President Alexander Vučić all but confirmed the delivery of the medium-range system that was agreed in 2019, saying on Saturday that it will present the newest pride of the Serbian military on Tuesday or Wednesday. He had earlier complained that NATO countries, which represent most of Serbia's neighbours, are refusing to allow the system's delivery flights over their territories, amid tensions over Russia's aggression on Ukraine. Oh, so they were trying to stop it happening. Funny as well, because controlling airspace, that's something as well that will cause a build-up of conflict. That's gonna ruffle feathers to where they'll especially if you're surrounded, just gonna be like, yo, that means that should something break out, you ain't gonna be able to get certain supplies through the air. Like if that's a partially their country, then it's like oil pipelines, various other things. If those things aren't sorted, then you're toast. You're gonna have to do something, because otherwise your economy's not gonna survive. Your people ain't gonna have food to eat. They're gonna be rioting real soon. But you can see how these things when it cascades and multiple countries get involved, hey, people are gonna have to do what they're gonna have to do. Although Serbia has voted in favor of UN resolutions that condemn the bloody Russian attacks in Ukraine, it refused to join international allies into international sanctions against its allies in Moscow, or outright criticize the apparent atrocities committed by the Russian troops there. Back in 2020, US officials warned Belgrade against the purchase of HQ-22 anti-aircraft systems, whose export version is known as FK3. They said that if Serbia really wanted to join the EU or other Western alliances, it must align its military equipment with Western standards. Yeah, so get on. You need to start fucking with the American military-industrial complex, and that's a big part of keeping these things in the American system, because that's how they're going to be making their money and maintaining that control. They have to maintain a relationship with the US. But yeah, multiple of these countries, these guys are they're all essentially at the point where they're all in it for themselves, including EU. EU is the main ally. Matthew 12:25, it says, "And Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he's divided against himself, how shall then his kingdom stand? Yeah. And that's with Esau. Esau's Satan. Satan casting out Satan. These conflicts, it's one group of Edomites against another. These guys, this is Esau tearing himself down. And 2nd Ezra 6, Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob's the beginning of it to follow. So, hey, it's coming to Israel next. Yahushua first, and then free Yahushua to the joint heirs, the elect. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Yahushua Meshach, Shalom.